How's it going, everyone? Liam Catterson here with episode number 5 of season 3 for Jessica Jones, which is called I Wish. And this season has just been absolutely fun so far. It's been so incredible. I've really loved going into all the characters, and it seemed like the last episode presented us the main villain for season 3 for Jessica Jones in Salinger, who is, yeah, he is a bit of a burden at the minute. Completely psychotic, manipulative. I'm really excited to see what the story does go with him. But I'm also excited to see what happens in this episode with the idea that Jess has to team up with Trish. Despite being adamant that she doesn't want to team up with her, she has no choice in this episode. And it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm expecting quite a few bickering, but I'm guessing in order to put a stop to Salinger or something like that, because he seems to be the culprit who's stabbed Jessica. They've got to put their differences aside, so yeah. But yeah, with that said, let's get on with episode number 5 of Jessica Jones. Extended reaction should be up on Patreon. Let's go.
It was not his first time.
We'll get him.
Trying to be a ghost.
He's only human.
All he does is collect diplomas and expertise in everything. He's smarter than both of us combined.
I don't know about that.
Well, I do. We don't have a body, a weapon,
Trish, you've only heard the guy for about 5 minutes, and you're jumping to assumptions.
He's holding every card.
Oh my god, that is scary. That ability to successfully portray, oh my god, that's scary. Oh my god. Just cleaning up house, it's just disturbing. Like, cleaning's not disturbing, but I'm assuming cleaning after a murder? Yeah. You know when you have that, like, thought that you pass a murderer on the street and you don't even know it?
Everything's ruined. It's not a coincidence. Kath!
You were sleeping with your students, stealing from your foundation long before I arrived.
Yeah, I made mistakes, but this
That is
expose,
true.
this
is a pretty big mistake, Peter.
Kath.
No, you did this to yourself.
It's pretty shitty as well.
She's trying to steal you from...
I have to take your losses, man.
You can't have her.
Neither can you.
Ooh. The right thing, but the Grady thing as well.
He just added the photo to a hidden album.
Could be a trophy.
We have to get it.
Not by breaking in. Trish.
Oh, she's gonna break in, isn't she? She's reluctant to do that. Wait, was that a person? Did they just see Trish just land in front and be like, okay.
Yeah, I got this thing from the government.
Oh dearie me.
Power's out.
Crap, there goes the internet.
Yep, my upload's compromised. Great.
I know, right?
Won't get that reaction video out in time. There's Salinger. Just watch. There's gonna be some kind of cryptic. Oh my god. Haunting.
Keep eating those candy bars, you're gonna get your own zip code.
Oi! The shade. Oh.
Hi there.
Nope.
Prison. A smart guy would know. I'll rip his nuts out through his throat if he threatens me.
I love Eric.
You smart asshole.
You can't comprehend what I am.
Then he threatened Brianna again, saying, your sister looks lovely.
This guy's a total
Now, I've been doing this a long time.
creep.
You dicked somebody else over, and now we all have to pay.
I'm dealing with a crazy person.
Oh, say that to me again.
She keeps getting thrown on the bed. It's all about
Whatever you're not
now it's all about protecting her.
Telling you I'm taking a few days off.
God forbid you actually talk about it.
Jess doesn't talk.
There's nothing to talk about.
I am sick of people throwing away friends and family like there's plenty more where that came from. There isn't.
Tell him.
Work it out.
I love her more and more by the minute.
Peter Leone? He posted this.
Oh no.
I betrayed my family.
This is what I think it is.
Especially the memory of my beloved, that these super criminals still continue to walk our streets.
Oh! Okay, that's worse than I thought it was gonna be.
Every single one of us, the entire fabric of our legal system, is at risk.
Oh.
I can't fight this fight.
Let it go?
Yes,
Let it go.
it's time.
It's time for you to get your head out of your ass and admit that you were wrong.
I wasn't wrong.
Let it go is the wrong choice of words, though, Trish.
You murdered my mother. Who? I had someone.
You've always had someone, Jess.
Ouch.
Are you okay?
Stay away from me.
Oh. You have lost totally, Hogarth.
Dissolve them in acid? I don't know. You
Yep.
chop them up?
That would be the one.
Is it sulfuric acid?
And I would need a handsaw. When I was there, it was gone. And later, it was back.
Well, he was using it.
There might be trace evidence on it. Maybe it'll lead me to something.
Well, we saw him with the hazmat suit.
Masculinity all night.
You think you did?
I know.
Used to
Feel
just...
free to leave me one of those burgers before you go.
Ah! You've hooked her in.
See you later.
Didn't even think about how much of Peter's death would impact Malcolm, because this is the guy that's beforehand.
Can I help you?
I don't think this is how we play hide and seek.
Palm tree earring.
Easy target.
I protect my own women.
See?
Can we just talk this out before you just...
That's not happening. Oh! Well, this is rude. Well, now you're a dead man. You just gave him a bloody knockout punch. This is gonna force Jessica to say, "You had one job, Malcolm."
We received a loitering complaint.
Oh, this is what she exactly wanted, isn't it? She exactly wanted this. She knew he was gonna do this. Smart.
Have you been drinking, man?
Smart play, Jess.
No, I'm just tired.
This guy just... calling him a creep... Oh, fuck! Calling him a creep is just not doing justice.
29, 28.
Him or her. Pick your poison. Jesus. Yeah, you just cut it close there, Trish.
I'm coming down. No. Give me your hand. Did you lose him?
Lose him or her?
I chose you. I wish I didn't kill your mom.
Is this the stepping stone to rebuilding this friendship?
I wish she wasn't a mass murderer.
Turn the stove on and burn his face, not Eric's. Jab him in the eye! Jab him in the eye! Night night. Son of a bitch. I hate him. I don't think Eric's dead. I think... Wait. See, here's the thing. Like, well, then again, that's Eric's apartment, not Salinger's. So I guess Salinger's just choked him out and all of that. Because if this was Salinger's apartment, then Eric would have been deaded and all of that. So yeah. But yeah, this was pretty great stuff, and it's great to see that Trish and Jess have seemingly re-established their connection, especially with that beautiful last scene after Jess had her life saved by Trish, where they both went into their deep thoughts about, oh, I'm sorry I killed you. I wish I didn't kill your mother. I wish my mother wasn't a mass murderer. And that's the thing. They both have their own stories and all of that, their own defenses. Jess tried to bring her into the light, and because Trish was out the loop, she was completely ignorant about the whole situation and went in guns blazing. But that's been, but I mean, I say guns blazing, that is a common thing for Trish anyways, which I'll get to later. But yeah, Jess had her defense. Trish knows that mass murders cannot be erased and felt like she had to do something, especially in the face of what could potentially happen to Jessica, which she could not live with if something were to happen to her. So yeah, but I mean, I will always say this: I'm still a bit iffy with what Trish did, but she's not a bad person. She's just a bit hot-headed, as we saw in this episode, which I really loved seeing their connection. I loved seeing their team up. It worked out so well because they really put a lot of emphasis on their teamwork whilst battling an enemy who is like pretty much 10 steps ahead, who doesn't give Jess an easy ride whatsoever. Like, Jess knows that Salinger would be 10 steps ahead. Like, he's not some average criminal who just robs a store and all of that. He is hard work, and Jess knows that she has to approach this cautiously, carefully. And it doesn't help that Trish has this hothead tendency where she just wants to barge into everything and hope that passes. So yeah, I really loved the conflicting ways on how to handle this situation there was between Jess and Trish, because Jess wanted a more cautious approach, Trish not so much, and they're like following from the mother's death and all of that. It wasn't just the methods that both Trish and Jess had that were creating this tense relationship. It was, of course, yeah, like we've just established, it was the case that it didn't help matters with Trish saying "let it go." Like, that was the wrong move to make. I couldn't help but think of Frozen though. Sorry, but no. In all seriousness, that was a bit of those 3 words were like your biggest mistake ever if you're going to confront Jess about the whole situation regarding her mother. So, yeah. But but it was really, really great because I feel like this relationship between Jess and Trish, I felt like that was great in this episode because we got a lot more of an insight about why Jess is right and Trish is basically in the wrong. Basically at making calls and all of that. As well as like the choice of wording that she had. That was, like I said, that was brutal to make. Wrong choice of words, but because this is the thing, Trish knows what's going on in Jess's head as well, so it's she knows that it's not just a case of, okay, well, just let your emotions go or whatever. Trish is the main culprit responsible for why, in Jess's mindset, for why Jess is like this, and her choice of words is like, oi, not the best idea to have, but I don't condone Alyssa's actions whatsoever about what she did and all of that. But Jess is not one to sugarcoat a criminal's actions as well at the end of the day, and there might be that bias because she's my mother and all of that, but she felt like there was some light. But like I said, with that nice scene towards the end after Jess's life was saved, I think they realized that there's no way going about this, and they both had their own defenses, and it has to be water under the bridge. And Jess could use the help she needs in order to defeat Salinger, and it worked out so well in this episode because Salinger did not know who Trish was, which was perfect foreshadowing to what was to come. And I really, really liked the plan that Jess used the hand for bait at Salinger, because Salinger knew Jess would be the one to do it. And like I said, he doesn't know Trish. But now he knows that, not necessarily that Jess has Trish, but that Jess has a partner. So, yeah. Though I thought if you were going to trick him into following you to that tank area where you disposed of all the bodies, I think there could have been a better way around it than just toss it into the window. I get why they were going, like they were going for the whole bait situation, and but you don't see this coming. You're trying to get ahead of in the game and all of that. But yeah, I think there might have been a better way to try and follow Salinger to the tank area, but I still liked it all the same. It was really, really good though. I was also a bit confused about like when Jess was trapped inside the tank. I was a bit confused there because Salinger seemed to suggest this all went according to plan, like he knew Jess was gonna follow him there anyways. But it looked like Jess tripped something and then locked herself in there from my perspective. So I was a bit confused with what actually happened there, but it seems to suggest that this is all going according to my plan. And it works out well with the fact that he's always going to be ahead of the game. So, like he has always been throughout this episode. So, yeah. But yeah, it was really, really good going to Jess and Trish's relationship and that tension there, but it seems like they are going to work things out, for which is really, really good stuff to see. And loving Eric as well, even further. We got to know a bit more about him, as well as Salinger, because we got a history about Salinger's shady activities, as well as his more innocent, I guess, hobbies and all of that. But we got to know a bit more about newer characters, like Eric, that he has his sister, who Salinger did threaten, and we got to see some really, really comical scenes with Bree involved, like Jessica just throwing her on the bed repeatedly just to shut her up, and then her trying to find her earring, and Malcolm's like, so yeah, you didn't really look far enough, did you, and all of that. So yeah, although I am curious to see what Malcolm has done to make him be 3 out of 10 on Eric's radar, on his spider sense, I guess. although I think that might be a testament to his activities with Peter and all of that, because, well, we'll get onto that, actually, because, yeah, that was really, really juicy as well. Hogarth now in hot water because of Peter's death. So, yeah, he sent a message, a suicide message, a final message to the people, like, he wanted people to take in and all of that, and we kind of have the idea, like, especially Daredevil, that, well, that was more innocent and all of that, whereas Peter was still responsible for being dodgy and all of that. It still is bad for... It was still greedy for, like, Jerry's intentions to release that information. While she was being heroic to a sense, it was greed more than anything. She wasn't being a hero because, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. So, yeah, I mean, he was, but Jerry did not decide to wake up this morning and say, you know what, I'm going to be a hero. Her intentions were clear. She wants Kif. She longs for her so much. So she is willing to find as much dirty information to make sure that Kif and Peter are no more. Although that backfired on her heavily in this episode, because not only did Peter kill himself, but he sent out a message to the people. Because he knows that Jerry wants Kif to, like, he even said it, ever since you showed up, yeah, it's all been going downhill. But, yeah, not only does his message try to tell those without powers that they are not worthy, and, Jerry sees lesser of them, but, his plea is damning Jerry, so people are probably going to look at Jerry, and Hogarth is going to be an absolute hellfire with this recent controversy. But like I said, at the same time, Jerry did the right thing, because what Peter did was disgusting, and even Kif sees that. It's absolutely disgusting at what he did, but like I said in the last episode, the motivation, the reason why Jerry instigated this investigation, because she wanted Kif to leave Peter. Now that Peter has killed himself, Jerry's gonna feel like, well, we saw her facial reaction ever since. She was shocked. She did not want this to happen. She just wanted them to split, and not Peter dying and all of that. And she's going to... Well, the funny thing is, though, this is not the first time that Jerry has been associated to... she's been associated to murder. She orchestrated a murder last season, as we recall, the gun situation. But now this is more public, and now people are going to be looking at her with such disdain. So, yeah. And that's not only this, but Malcolm as well. Like, I didn't consider him until he was on the phone to his girlfriend, because this dude has had a real moral crisis all season, and now that Peter's dead, that's going to amplify that anxiety even further. He even reluctantly agreed to find more dirt about Peter, and he is... So I'm not so sure if Eric's senses is regarding to what Malcolm did to Peter, because whereas metaphorically, Hogarth gave Malcolm the gun, and Malcolm fired it, because Malcolm was the one to find the information. Hogarth said, just find as much information as possible, and gave him the orders. So Malcolm is going to feel even worse, because he was the one that found that information. He was the one to distribute that information. So he was the one to fire the gun, and he's going to feel like absolute... like, he didn't even want to do this to begin with. And now that Peter's dead, he's going to feel like... And he's going to feel disgusted. So, yeah. So, I can't wait to see how that does impact Hogarth's storyline. We've seen how Kif doesn't want anything to do with Hogarth anymore, which is understandable. But yeah, this was a really, really. I feel like season 3 has been absolutely killing it in these last few episodes. I've really, really the pace, the quality has picked up in these last couple of episodes, and yeah, especially since Salinger has arrived on the scene, things have been absolutely tense. Like that tanker scene was really, really tense stuff to see, especially with Jess trying to get herself out with her super strength, but nothing was budging. The only thing that was working was making her hands bleed, and yeah. Business has picked up. Salinger was even more sinister in this episode, especially since he cleaned up after the guy he murdered in the last episode. That was really, really daunting as well. And yeah, he's just an absolute creep. And it's just really, really, he's just been an interesting spectacle at the minute with Jessica Jones in these last 2 episodes, because he's absolutely sinister. He gives you that sense of dread, and it's just frightening. So yeah, but this was really, really solid stuff. Like I said, great to see the Trish and Jessica relationship seem to find that re-establishment since they've basically had water under the bridge. Doesn't mean that they're not going to conflict time to time again, because like I said, they've still got that difference in terms of how to handle a situation where Jess is more practical and she's not all guns blazing like Trish. But that was that whole thing with the with Jess's mother was the biggest factor to their rift, and now they had that water under the bridge scene, it seems. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!